Exciting announcement. New issue of Inwarp Mag.
Welcome back to another edition of Inwarp Mag. I am Brooke, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Drew.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Glad to have you back.
And today we're going to be talking about something a little unrelated to 40K itself, but we thought it was...
I'd say it's very related.
It is very related. It is not the game, but we're going to talk about what you play on. And we have some tables to talk about, and we're going to be talking about the 5 levels of gaming tables that you could go through in your progression to become a full-blown Emperor tier gamer.
Yeah, I think there's people are playing on all sorts of levels of what we would say are levels of gaming tables, and if you're playing on a level that is lower level, don't feel insulted, but you got to be honest with yourself. Your table might be in that level. It's okay. People,
we'll talk.
Go ahead.
We'll talk about where we're at as we go through these, and results may surprise you.
Yeah, you may be on the lowest level. I hope you're not. I hope you're not on the lowest level.
God, I hope not.
You might be on the lowest level, and you're just waiting to work your way up. So, everybody starts somewhere.
And if you are on the lowest level, what are you doing? Honestly, I mean, please move up one level.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring up our tier pictures, and let's get into our level 1 tier. Brooke, you want to get us started with our level 1 tier? What's it called?
Level 1, Scout. So our first level is Scout level. And this is the saddest level. For sure the saddest. This is if you literally just are trying to find a way to play, literally don't have a table or anything to play on. Well, what's the next best option? The floor. If you have the floor, you can play 40K. Just get some blue painter's tape, get literally anything, mark out your table size of what the rulebook says. Maybe you don't have a rulebook. Maybe you have the online.
Maybe mark it out to whatever you feel like.
Maybe you don't even have a ruler. Who knows? Mark out the floor with the blue painter's tape, and then you suddenly have a table that you can play on, and your back might hurt, and your knees might hurt, but you're gonna be playing 40K.
Who
knows if you have dice either? I mean, at this level.
If you play on the floor, you don't even need terrain. You can just go outside and play on real terrain.
Oh, yes. That's incredible, actually. Go play in your flower garden and mark off a section with painter's tape and go and use the flowers as terrain. That's a hilarious idea. I love that idea.
The twigs are line of sight blocking, damn it.
When your dog runs through, then you had a natural disaster occur on your battlefield.
Or you might even have a dog turd in your battlefield.
Play it as it lies, like your dog lying on the battlefield.
Yeah, this is like the kid tier also, I would say. I can just imagine, being a kid again and playing with army men on the floor. So this is literally like taking your army men and adding a rule set around it and still playing on the floor. Definitely has to be level 1 because you if you don't finish a 3-hour game or however long it takes you to play a game of Warhammer, then your mom's going to ask you to pick it up, because if you're playing on the floor, you're probably still living with your mom.
Unironically, that is the perfect example of who would be in this tier. It's for kids who are playing on the floor. Or if your mom allows you, and you have to ask first, is if you can play on the kitchen counter, and that's still we consider the Scout tier.
Yeah, if you're playing on your mom's counter, yeah. Well, one, you got a really good mom that she let you play on the counter, because I don't think our mom would ever let us play on the freaking counter.
She might even let you use mugs and cups and plates as terrain. So, I mean, you got it made. Just set some stuff up and boom, you have a gaming table on your kitchen counter. Yeah. Who knows if it's big enough? I mean, if it's big enough, then you probably have enough money to go and get into the next tier. But I mean, kitchen counter is always a good option.
But yeah, this tier, it makes my back hurt and it makes me sad. So let's move on to tier 2.
Tier 2 is Battle Brother. So some of us are in this tier.
I was in this tier.
I am currently in this tier, and I don't know if I'm going to leave. So our first, let's skip the first one. So this is like temporary tables. So like if you have a ping pong table, maybe you have a pool table, maybe you have some folding tables that your mom, bought when you were graduating high school for your graduation party, and you can put 2 of those together, and then you have a 6x3 foot table suddenly. But what I do, and this is top end of Battle Brother tier, is you have a folding table, and then you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever is near you, whatever
this is
place you can buy some really cheap lumber.
Can I add?
Go ahead.
Can I add in? It's because you're also, for some reason, too cheap to buy a second folding table.
Yes, that is also true. This is if you don't want to buy more folding tables and you just want to buy some plywood or MDF board, and then you slap a playmat on that. Suddenly you have a 6x4 table. It's kind of great, actually. I have 2 of them in my basement.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people find when they first get into wargaming, they're like, I got a table. I can play wargame at home. They find that their table isn't 6 foot by 4, because 6 foot by 4 foot is pretty stinking big. When you actually see the size of it, you're like, damn, I do not have a table that size.
I mean, we don't have 8 brothers and sisters, so we don't have that big of a table, but maybe you do.
If you do, more power to your mom and dad, because they got a lot.
Likely you have 2 folding tables, so just use one of those too. I mean, use 2 of those. Yeah, this is the jank table. This is the jank table setup level. This is where I live because I'm cheap. And honestly, it's good enough. We were trying to set up 2 tables at one point for Legion so we could have 2 games going at once. Got a folding table, got some plywood, slapped it on top. It's great. The only thing is, don't lean on it, because then the entire battlefield will start tilting. and suddenly everything is messed up, including all the terrain, and your minis are moved. But yeah, this is cheap, easy way to do it. And it's easy to put away, because you just pick up those boards and put them against the wall, and you don't have to look at them, and you can put the folding table away. I mean, if you had 2 folding tables, you could just fold both of them, but like, you only have to fold 1 folding table in this case, so it's a win, right?
Yeah, I mean, this was my tier 2, so I can't be too critical of it because, well, one thing I maybe did wrong is I bought MDF board that was a little too flexible, so I had to innovate, I'll say, and I had to get, like, I have some leftover wood, like I got wood floor, and I took some leftover, like, wood planks to extend it outside of my table, because my table in the basement is so small, and then the MDF boards sit on that so that they wouldn't flex too much. So, this is you make it work. This is the jank tier. So like, other things I would throw into the jank tier are like ping pong tables. Like, they work, but
we've played
on
them.
Yeah, but you can't play ping pong.
Yeah.
If you don't like ping pong, though, then like, why do you have a ping pong table other than maybe to do wargaming? So maybe that's perfect for you. But it's still kind of jank because you bought a ping pong table for wargaming. That's kind of that's kind of jank.
I mean, if you go on Facebook Marketplace, you can get one of those for like $25. So maybe it's worth it. I mean, maybe we're the dummies, and maybe a ping pong table for like $25 on Facebook Marketplace is literally the best option.
It's not a bad option. They're just like slightly bigger than 6 foot by 4 foot. Just if I'm visualizing it.
Honestly, that's good, because then you can put all your tokens on the side. You can put your whatever you carried your minis in on the side.
I guess, but it's great till you get into like a little line of sight fight, and you're just like, I can't get close enough to the table to actually check it. You're just like, whatever. We'll just count
Then you buy a scope, and then you can literally scope it with an actual scope because you can't see it because it's too far away.
You buy a GoPro to visualize it for you, and at that point, when you can afford the GoPro, you can maybe just go to level tier 3 instead, or tier 4 even. So
the one thing I wanted to say about tier 2 before we leave, just to be clear on the MDF and plywood, if you're going that route, I have both plywood and MDF. MDF I like better because your playmat doesn't stick to it and it doesn't get splinters from the plywood because it's, it's got more.
it's MDF.
Yeah, I mean, it's MDF. It's pretty smooth. If you buy MDF, you got to get like the 1/2 inch at least. It's going to be heavy as crap if you're trying to like get it to the front of the store and buy it. But you have to do it or else you're going to be in the same predicament that Drew was in where it was flexing on you too much. Yeah, you need it to be pretty thick. So that 1/2 inch MDF, I got 2 2x4 planks, so I got 3 of those, and then I stick them on top of the table and then throw the playmat on top of them, and it works out good for me.
Yeah, you want your wood to be nice and stiff and rigid.
You want a stiff wood.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to
Well, wait. Before we move on to tier 3, I want to say, does Tabletop Simulator count as tier 2? Because in my heart, I count it as tier 2. It works, and it's probably better than most, but I hate playing on Tabletop Simulator personally.
No, I think that's tier 6 because I think
tier Omega.
You got Galaxy Brain where you didn't spend time buying minis, you didn't spend the money to buy an extra table that you're not going to use for anything else, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to just play it on Tabletop Simulator for $20 or whatever that game costs.
That cuts out half of the good part of the hobby. So in
fair.
My mind, maybe it's tier -1.
You know what? We'll compromise. We'll say it's tier 2. It fits in the jank territory because you know what? That game is kind of jank. We've played a few things on it.
Yeah, God forbid you accidentally hit the flip the table button in the middle of a 3-hour game. You're like, oh my God, we lost our progress.
And installing all the godforsaken mods to get your games to work. Like, let's play Legion on Tabletop Sim. You have to download the correct mod, and if you don't download the correct mod, then tools don't work, and then all the maps don't load in. You just see those like missing texture things. And anyways, that's definitely the jank territory.
Tier 2 is I make it work. I want to play my game. I want to have fun. No insults meant. I was in tier 2. Brooke's still in tier 2.
In tier 2.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to tier 3. Let's get out of tier 2.
All right, yeah, screw tier 2, screw me. Tier 3. Tier 3 is the Chapter Master tier. So this we're defining as building your own table because you've looked online and you've seen some of the tables that are offered online.
Maybe you bought some plans to build a table.
Maybe you did, or you're playing on these tables like me. You're like, oh, these MDF boards, they're really flexible, and I don't like having to use my spare flooring to hold them up.
You're like, I'm a man. I have tools. Damn it!
I can build it myself. I have hands that can do this. So then you build your own table. You find some plans online. You build your own because it's cheaper than buying it from somebody else. And Drew, you're in this tier.
Yeah, maybe you got some free money lying around, or your significant other is allowing you to spend some of the extra money that you have and be like, you know what? I agree it would be nice to have a nice table that you made. So yeah,
maybe you rationalize it that you can use it for holidays for people to eat on.
Yeah, you're like, I'll build a table.
They buy into it.
I'll build a table topper for it one day, and that one day may never come, but we'll see. But yeah, here's my table. I just built it 3 weeks ago, and I found the plans on Goonhammer, and I can post a link to the plans that I followed to build it. But essentially, it's a storage unit and table all built into one. So the table legs are made from 2 dressers that I bought off of Wayfair, and then I just bought like some 2x4s for the frame and some plywood for the table surface, and I'm slowly upgrading it, which is perfect if you don't want to dip your toes into tier 4 or tier 5, which I don't want to. I've told you all how cheap I am.
This is honestly the tier I want to be in.
Yeah, Brooks come over and seen my table, and I think he wants to get into tier 3 like this.
I don't know if I'll build 2, but I want 1.
It's pretty amazing, to be honest. Like, I have a lot of terrain that I've 3D printed. Again, I'm super cheap. I don't buy terrain. I print my own terrain. I guess I don't view the cost of my electric bill in that whole mix. I have to pay electric anyways, so whatever. Anyways,
PLA plastic.
Yeah. I got a ton
That's
of
free,
terrain.
basically.
Yeah, PLA, $22, $25, whatever, depending on how crappy you want to go. Anyways, all my terrain,
basically free.
I can store it in the dressers, and then like I got tape measures in the dressers, tokens, whatever. It's all there. You can see my board games in the back. That's unrelated, but anyways.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. It's honestly pretty legit. Having the storage under the table is awesome because I'm constantly trying to figure out where to put my terrain and we have the borders for Legion, like the tools for the game, like just having that all under the table is so nice. I wish more tables actually did something like that where they had drawers built into the table, because I have a dedicated shelf, like a really big one of those Kallax board game shelves for all my board games, because I got into board games before I got into wargaming, and I have a ton of board games. But like, I don't want to put up more of those shelves just to store terrain and God knows what, like all the minis. You know, I don't want to have to build another shelf just to store all the stuff that I need for my wargaming hobby.
Storing tokens and stuff in there is nice too, because I'm just thinking like when we go to play a game, and like for Star Wars Legion, there's the different game types. It's like, oh, we're doing sabotage the moisture evaporators or whatever. So like I can just open the drawer and boom, I have those tokens. So we don't have to have them all out ready to go. It's just grab the ones you need from the drawer that's right next to the wargaming table. Perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. It is like, it doesn't seem like it's that much work. If you want to go and find the plans at Goonhammer's website, then it's pretty easy to search up. They came out with the plans, I think, this year, 2024. It's awesome. It seems pretty simple. Like, you could literally go to your favorite handyman store, like Home Depot and Lowe's. You could have the wood cut for you at those stores. You could say, I need a 2x4 cut to this length. I need 2 of them. Oh, I need a 2x4 cut to this length. Oh, I need 4 of them, or whatever. Like, you can go and do that stuff, buy it all there, and then take it home and build it. Like, you don't even have to have the power tools required to do this. You can have them cut it for you. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but last time I checked, you could get this stuff cut for you at those stores, which is ideal if you're trying to save on cost. Speaking of cost, how much is something like this, Drew?
I mean, the most expensive part was the dressers, and I tried to get them on sale on Wayfair, and I think the dressers were like around $250, and then all of the wood and the screws and the plywood that I bought, I think came out to like $120 or something like that. And I had some like Home Depot gift cards lying around because, you know, I'm getting old and people go, oh, you want a Home Depot gift card for Christmas.
You're handy.
Yeah. Here you go, son. You need to do yard work. Thank you. So I have some Home Depot gift cards lying around. If you need something to do with your Home Depot gift cards because you're getting older like me, boom.
And you're not handy.
Don't buy a shovel. Buy lumber to make yourself a wargaming table, people. Come on. So
yeah,
it's perfect.
It literally takes like a weekend of work and you built it. That's what I think it took you, like a weekend, and you had it built.
And the thing is like when you build it yourself, you have so much more satisfaction when you're playing on it because you're like, I made this table. And then you also have the options to continue upgrading it. Like, I've felted the table surface for mine, the plywood. So if I don't have a wargaming mat, like if I'm just gonna be playing board games, I don't have to like weird people out and be like, why is there this weird thing on the table? I just have a green felt, it looks like a poker table almost when it's
Oh, I didn't know you did that. That's cool.
Yeah, I just did that last weekend. And I'm building a dice tray that I'm gonna have that will connect to the side of the table. I have the dice tray built. I just need to connect like the bracket that'll have it connect to the rail. That way, like when we're playing Warhammer and we got to roll 500 dice, just roll it in that, and I don't have to worry about like aiming it inside of a tiny box on the table.
And how much did the dice tray cost you? Like materials to build it.
The wood for it was, I think, $12.
Yeah, and if you look at your favorite gaming table company and you try to build or try to buy one of their dice tray accessories, I bet you're not paying $12. You're probably paying like multiply that by 10, and you're probably paying that.
I mean, you could do this all real cheap. I mean, you don't have to have the best tools in the world. I have like a circular saw. I don't have a miter saw at all, but I do have a miter saw with a box. Like it's a hand miter saw. It's kind of jank. It's like, just out of level 2. And it works though. Like my table doesn't look bad, I don't think. If you think it looks like shit, then okay, leave a comment.
I mean,
we can debate.
You literally just need a hand saw or like a scroll saw and you're good. I don't think you really need that much else besides those types of tools, and I think you just have to be able to cut the 2x4 basically.
I mean, if you could make level 2 work, you're gonna be able to figure out how to make level 3 work.
That's you might even already have some of the materials to make level 3 work by buying plywood.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was a lot of hard work because I probably made it a lot harder on myself than I needed to. Like I didn't have enough sawhorses, but I'm doing this cheap, so I made it work. And
so you used his car and his steps. No, just kidding.
No, I actually just put it on the ground. So not great, but it worked.
I think your heart is in tier 2, but your brain is in tier 3. Like your heart still lives in tier 2.
My wallet lives in tier 2. My brain is in tier 3.
Yeah, you're a chapter master, but your heart is a battle brother.
Yeah, I have the heart of a battle brother. All right, I'm gonna show our little Chad Space Marine again. All right,
so tier 4.
Yep. Let's get to the Giga Chad.
The Primarch tier. So this I've reserved for the one and done Kickstarter tables. So this is like the tier of tables that don't belong in like the companies that have made a living out of making tables, but these are the ones that are like, oh, we could make a gaming table, and
this is easy.
Yeah, we can do this, and then their company goes under because they tried to make a gaming table and sell it on Kickstarter, and they don't understand the shipping of that is insane. So
it's like it's like Gilliman, like, oh yeah, I'll run the empire.
It's the logistics. That's why Gilliman is. That makes sense. That's hilarious. That was unintentional. That's great. There's 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. Well, 2.5, I'll say. So one of them, they are around still. This one's called the Jasper table. It's not that expensive. It's a fairly, at least it was when I was looking at it. It's a fairly simple gaming table. It has a topper, but it's like a standard. Boom, you have a gaming table. Nice finished wood. Has a nice finished topper that like overhangs the edges. It's actually a pretty nice topper. I think that's like All Play who makes that. They're pretty good. Jasper's a pretty decent table. There's some other ones that are kind of in that level. Like there's one called like I think it was called like the Megan or something, and then there's like another one. I don't know. Anyways, there's a few like that are kind of around, and then there's some other ones that are definitely one and done, like the Table of Ultimate Gaming. So like one of my friends has the Table of Ultimate Gaming, And that company on Kickstarter, they raised, just a measly $1.2 million in their Kickstarter to sell these gaming tables. And before my buddy even got his table, they went out of business because of this Kickstarter. And then he received it, and he was like, "Oh, thank God I received it." And then he was like, slowly, like, there were accessories like trickling in, I think, but like he was afraid he wasn't going to get all the accessories he ordered for it. Well, then it's like you have to build it yourself, so it's like you might as well go into tier 3 if you're going to build it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But there are these tables that you see on Kickstarter, and they look awesome, and you're like, I have to have this random company that I've never heard of,
but I don't know if it's actually good or not.
It's made out of really cheap MDF board, but I want it because it looks cool.
It's still expensive, and I don't have to build it myself.
Yeah, it's still very expensive. Like, for example, the table of Ultimate Gaming during this Kickstarter, their table that I think my buddy has is like $700, for example. The Jasper, I'm trying to find it real quick. Like, the Jasper table is I can't see exactly what it starts at. I mean, it's probably around the same price. I think it's like $800. Oh, it's $900. It starts at $900. And then the topper is another $440. So I mean, you're getting up there in price. And then all the accessories are all, more money than if you want to have a table extension because you need a bigger table. Then it's another $200. Like, it just like adds up as you add all these accessories to it. I mean, the Jasper looks like a pretty nice table, and they have some other like stuff in their ecosystem of stuff that you can add on. Like, they have some shelves that you can get that are all in that ecosystem of accessories.
You can get a dark walnut wine glass holder. Like, you can be a real fancy wargamer.
I think Gilliman would appreciate that.
Yeah, he would.
As he's texting his Eldar girlfriend.
Hey, baby, you want some Pinot Grigio?
So yeah, this is the table. This is the tier for the people who they saw Kickstarter. They were in the mood for looking for a table at the time. They see this Kickstarter and they go, "I'm going to pull the trigger on this $1,200 table or $800 table or whatever it is." And they are solid. They're pretty good. I mean, I would say like something like the Jasper is really nice. The Ultimate Gaming table is fine. It comes in like I can speak from just seeing my buddies. It comes in like these pieces that are smaller because they wanted to fit them smaller for shipping. So it's like a bunch of really smaller pieces of wood all put together to like build this bigger table. So it's almost like a Lego model in a way. It's kind of weird. It's fine. I mean, it does a good job. We've been using it for, God, I think like 5 years now. So it's pretty nice.
I kind of see level 4 is like, if you're gonna have like your wargaming table like in your kitchen or something like that, or in your spare dining room or something like that, then level 4 is probably the tier for you. But like, if you're gonna put it in your basement, I don't know, like, you might be like, Drew, why don't you just drop another $500 and you could have the Jasper with the wine glass holder. And
but as soon as you have the wine glass holder, then
it's
$930.
It's in my basement, and I have the satisfaction of playing off a table that I put the work into building myself. And you know what? I could buy an adjustable mobile home cup holder off of Amazon for $20 and screw that to the side of my table. So, level 3 is adaptable, baby. I don't need to be in level 4.
I think level 4 is for the people who don't want to do it themselves. That does not appeal to them. They have no desire to do that themselves, and they want something that they can get, and it's going to be, maybe they have to build it themselves. It has instructions to do so. Some of these definitely are going to look nicer than others. I think that Jasper could like you could pass that as your dining room table and
Mhm.
then just open it up to play games on it. Like that's this tier. That is the I want a really nice table, but I also want to be able to play games on it. So I bought a $1,000 table that fits both of those criteria.
Yeah, and I don't want to be bending over on the ground in sawdust and frickin' screwing a really long 4-inch screw into some frickin' 2x4s. I just want the table now.
Staining is for peasants, is what you think in this tier.
Yeah, leave that to the scout level people. They can stain it while they're laying on the ground.
While they're playing with their minis in their mom's garden.
Yeah. So I guess my advice holds doubly true for level 3. If you're gonna do level 3, get some more sawhorses so you don't have to stoop down to level 1 to get to level 3.
If you're in tier 4, if you're in Primarch tier, then I hope you have a good job, because it's a lot of money to drop like $1,000 on a table.
But honestly, if you need like a dining room table or something like that, if you
Yeah.
have a home, like
If you have 4 kids and you needed them all to sit around one table,
yeah, or you have 8 kids,
well,
get a bigger table.
then if you go past that, then you might have to be part of the chapter master tier, because you have to build a table that's big enough.
Yeah, you probably want to teach your kids wargaming anyways, because college is too expensive with that many kids. They're going into the military.
And you're going to be too bored for 35 years as they're all going through high school.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't plan out your kids.
All right, should we move to level 1, tier 1?
Or level 5. This is level 5. This is the highest level.
Yes, level 5. I've reversed it.
Level 5 is the Emperor tier. And this is, all bets are off. You want the best of the best. You went to Gen Con and you saw that sick Wormwood display, and you saw all those dice trays, and then you're like, God dang, those are really cool dice trays. And then you go around their little display and you see 7 tables set up, and you're like, wow, those are amazing. They have like hand carving and everything. And then you see they come out of their display and they're holding in their arms, they're full of accessories of every shape and size that you could ever think of. You're like, wow, that's amazing. Then they open their book and they show you all of the different table shapes that you can make, and you're like, wow, I always wanted to make a table that's shaped like a dick, because you could probably do it with them. You can make anything that you could ever think of.
And then they ask you, they're like, sir, do you want to come to one of our locations to pick it up when it's done, or would you like us to ship it to you? And you just scoff and laugh at them. Ship it to me, peasant.
Yes. Yeah, this is the tier for everybody who just wants the best that they can get, and money is no object, and that is something like Wormwood.
You lease a Mercedes, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're making that money, you're probably not. You're not buying a Mercedes. You're leasing a new one every 3 years.
You can write it off on your taxes, just call your guy,
You got the latest version of the Apple phone or Samsung Galaxy or whatever the hell.
You have the latest MacBook Pro Air 17 or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
It's not that there's anything wrong with being in level 5. There's nothing wrong with it.
Everybody, including us, dunks on level 5 because we're jealous that everybody in level 5 can even be in level 5.
Yeah, we want that big ass dick wargaming table.
I want a dick table. I mean,
then I can dictate to my friends how we're gonna play the war games.
Yeah. Listen, their tables are sick. Unironically, their tables are sick. Everybody who walks by at like Gen Con or whatever convention that you're at and you see a Wormwood table, you go, wow, that's incredible. And then you look at the prices and you go, I'll never buy that actually, because that's $2,500 base price. That's I don't think I can do that. And then,
Then they say, sir, we can do 3 different heights. And you're like, well, now I'm enticed.
well, how about this wood that is only found in Madagascar? And we went and harvested it for this table, and you can get it for a measly price of $7,000. How does that make you feel? And you go, oh,
we had to fight off that zebra and giraffe and lion to get it.
It is by far the most bougie table that you could possibly get, Wormwood. And the other alternate that I put in this tier as well is the Rathskeller tables. They're very similar. They start at like one of their tables starts at $22.50. Like that's kind of crazy. Like the Wormwood tables, they start at, if you're trying to play 40K and you're buying the cheapest wood, they start at $1,200, but that's like before you even get to, I want a toppers as well. Oh wait, hold on. This includes matching toppers. I mean, but if you're buying Wormwood, you're probably buying the one that's $10,000. You're probably buying the purple heart wood that, for the size that we're playing with, you're going to spend $7,000 for it. So,
well, I just wonder how much they've spent in accessories for their table too, because I mean that's just the table. It's like, well, what if I want the cup holders, or what if I want the lift system with the metal crank thing? You never know.
Yeah. What if I want a dice tray for every person that's ever going to sit at my table? So I need 8 dice trays for my 8 kids.
Where's my scotch gonna go? My small single barrel Craftman scotch. I don't know scotch, obviously.
I
bet it was expensive though.
I played at one point Dungeons and Dragons 3 years ago, but if I do play it, I need that $300 attachment just for the DM screen.
Yes, and if I'm not playing on real mahogany, then this is not a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, we are talking some mad crap.
Listen, we all want to be here. We all want to be in tier 5. We all wish we could.
We all secretly wish we could be the Emperor, like Emperor Cavill here, but we aren't. We never will be, probably.
We will never be Emperor Cavill ever, and it's sad.
I mean, a lot of us.
Why we aspire to be chapter master, but we'll never get there. Maybe like me, and then
you can aspire to be Primarch level, but honestly, you can't really be a Primarch either. So, really,
listen, that's a great analogy actually, because you are building the accessories that they would offer. At the Emperor tier, you are aspiring to be the Emperor.
Maybe I'm gonna just delve into the chaos, and I'm just gonna start my own legion.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, tier 3 is where you split off when you become either.
Yeah, I'm chaos.
You become a loyalist, where you go down the Wormwood path, or you become a Lord of Chaos, and you start building all the accessories yourself.
I guess it still doesn't make me a Primarch, but a man can dream. A space marine can dream.
Well, if you make the one and done Kickstarter, then you are a Chaos Primarch. Then you are Angron.
I'm gonna buy some Wormwood cup holder things that you can buy. They're wooden cup holders. I'm gonna screw it into the side of my table.
Now that is actual Angron level.
Yeah. My cup holders are worth more than my entire table.
That's Horus. That's just you're trying to be the Emperor, but you're not.
Exactly. Oh man. Yeah, so level 5, it's a great tier. If you're in this tier, leave a comment, leave a donation to the channel.
We only take them in at least 4 digits. So if you could leave one of those, we'd very much humbly appreciate it.
We'll read your name at the end, or no, we'll read at the beginning of every video. If you're generous, we'll be generous.
We'll be generous and read it at the beginning of the next episode episode. So
only the next
it's
episode.
You have to do it now, or else we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Oh my. All right. Well, let's start wrapping this thing up. So, I hope you guys enjoyed our ranks of wargaming setups, and whatever tier you're in, it's respect to you because you're having fun and you're playing your hobby. That's the thing that matters the most. So, no, this is a judgment-free zone unless you're in tier 5. You're that level 5 god emperor.
You a little bit because you're not donating to us.
Yeah, if you donate to us, then with no judgment, you're perfectly fine. But
yeah, we're kind of. I mean, we're obviously kind of roasting some of the higher tiers, but like, God bless you if you're in those tiers.
You got life figured out. You found those cheat codes.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're in the lower tiers and you're still playing, you're having fun. That's what's like you said. That's what's important. Just have fun with your hobby. We just think it's kind of funny that there's so many different levels of like gaming tables, and you see these people playing online, and they have these crazy tables, and you know, in real life, I have table with plywood and another table with MDF board and a playmat. Like, it's
what would
the reality of playing 40K.
A quick question: what level would you throw a table that's at like a gaming store in?
Chapter Primark. Well, it depends.
What?
I mean, some of these.
No, like at a game. I'm talking about like you go to your local game shop and you're playing on a table.
It's probably tier 3. It's probably Chapter Master. I don't think they're not gonna have those like one and done Kickstarter tables that have all the crazy accessories and stuff. But they probably built some like countertop height table custom to like put in their gaming area so that you can play war games on it.
But you're also a Chad because you're brave enough to go interact with people.
Oh yeah,
other
that's
people.
Fair.
Yeah, so I guess it has to be one of the Chad tiers, which would be tier 3 or 4. I'd say 3.
It's probably 3 unless they bought a bunch of Jaspers or something, and then I mean honestly, they're getting up there if they're in that tier. But I mean, like,
anyways,
some of these places also do like the folding tables, and they like just throw them at like if you go to like Adepticon, they just have like the 2 folding tables that are side by side, and they put a playmat next to it, and that's perfectly fine. But then they're down here with me, slumming with me at Battle Brother.
Level 2. Yeah. Anyways, we're deviating from our closing remarks. So, Brooke, you got any closing statements?
No, let's blow this popsicle stand. Holy crap, if I could say that correctly. Yeah. I've had too much to drink. You can leave me alone.
All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast. Leave a like. Leave a comment. We'd love to talk to you guys, hear your thoughts. And if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to hear us talk about next time, that'd be great. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And hope nobody's offended by our tier of wargaming tables, and we hope to talk to you all next time.
Later.